Grand Theft Auto 5 is 8 years old today, and nothing has changed in 8 years. I'm back from my most recent depression episode. It lasted 35 days, and today I want to talk about the state of Rockstar Games. I've touched base on a lot of topics in this video before, but with the recent trailer for Expanded Enhanced releasing and being a letdown, well, it can't be a letdown if you don't have high expectations to begin with. A lot of y'all were asking my thoughts and opinions on that, and this is hopefully my return to YouTube. I really want to return, but life is so hard when you're devoid of purpose and passion, especially when it comes to an 8-year-old game that just keeps getting re-released with nothing different added except like a couple extra grass textures. So I might sound a bit negative in this video, but trust me, that's not how I'm trying to come off. It is just the truth of how I feel. So I would love to be so positive, and hopefully the trilogy remasters for Grand Theft Auto do come out later this year instead of early next year. But until then, let's focus on the task at hand, Grand Theft Auto 5, and I do hope y'all enjoy this video. If so, please leave a thumbs up for the algorithm. I'll wait. Gracias, and also thank y'all so much for just sticking around and supporting me. Rockstar Games is just a company name, a cool one at that, with a really cool logo. I think they've got the coolest design in all of video game developer land, for lack of better terms. But what a lot of people misconstrue is that it's all the people behind the scenes that bring Rockstar to life. It's the teams that don't get near enough recognition, the guys who create the amazing concept art, the guys and gals, the people behind the textures, the graphic design, everything encompassed into one, which obviously makes Rockstar Games. But the thing is, these are the people that get the hate, and the people pointed, or the finger pointed at them, especially in today's climate. But that hate is aimed at the wrong people. This is where we're going to transition into Take-Two Interactive, Rockstar Games' parent company. So Rockstar Games is a subsidiary or a secondary company of Take-Two Interactive, and Take-Two is known for taking down graphical mods for Grand Theft Auto in recent times because the trilogy remaster that's going to be coming either at the end of this year or early next year. Take-Two has even harassed modders' families through blackmail and so many other dirty tactics, this multi-million-dollar corporation. And what a lot of people don't know, however, is that when you point the finger at Rockstar and say, Rockstar, you suck, you keep re-releasing Grand Theft Auto 5, or there's been nothing new, we want GTA 6, it's not necessarily Rockstar. Again, because Rockstar is a subsidiary, secondary company to Take-Two Interactive. It's Take-Two who pulls the strings and tells Rockstar what to do. And then it's the teams, all the good guys and gals at Rockstar, that make it happen. So what a lot of people don't know is that Rockstar was formed in 1998. And before that, Rockstar Games was known as DMA Design, and that was founded by the Hauser brothers and many other prominent names in Rockstar's history. So Take-Two has been around since the very beginning, aside from Grand Theft Auto 1 and maybe Grand Theft Auto 2, but I think it's just Grand Theft Auto 1. So Take-Two has been there from the very beginning. Rockstar itself would not exist without Take-Two. It wasn't Rockstar Games before Take-Two came in. So the good years of Rockstar Games from GTA 3 up until the release of GTA 5 wouldn't have happened. All that changed with the success of Grand Theft Auto Online. And the older I get, the more I understand about the political side of things, capitalism, corporations, and how all that works. And really, that's the big thing that's going on here with Take-Two and Rockstar Games. It's American capitalism and corporations at its finest. It's not about the quality, it's about the revenue that is generated. But it goes hand in hand, because to generate recurring revenue, you gotta have good quality. So in the instance of Grand Theft Auto 5, not saying it's a bad game, but it's just so old at this point that, as we saw with the Expanded Enhanced trailer, the only thing expanded was the release date, as it got delayed because nothing looks different. And the other thing expanded was the dislike to like ratio on Rockstar's video, or the trailer on their channel. And the community is speaking out, but at the same time, there's a bigger influx of newer GTA fans who weren't even born when Grand Theft Auto 5 released that are are supporting this because they don't know any better. The shark cards, they're enjoying this new game. They haven't been long-term fans, much like yourself probably watching this video, or myself, who's been a fan of Grand Theft Auto for almost 20 years. And there's some of y'all who've been a fan since the very beginning, which is amazing. But it is about revenue, and it's a changing of the guard. It's a changing of the times going on right now. We are in the midst of video game history. Grand Theft Auto 5 set the bar really high. You can't really compare it to any other games. Maybe Fortnite, not comparing the two, but the success of the two and how that has branched out into the video game world. Single-player games are a dying breed, and that's kind of a tough pill to swallow for a lot of old-school video game fans. So now I kind of want to talk about the Rockstar hierarchy because, well, the Rockstar hierarchy, as I would refer it to, is includes just a few big names. The Hauser brothers, Sam Hauser and Dan Hauser, who are the co-founders of Rockstar and the president and vice president. Then there is Leslie Benzies, Laszlo Jones, and many others. But this little hierarchy, I've talked about it on the channel before, but these names. Sam Hauser is the co-founder of Rockstar and still the president of Rockstar Games. His brother Dan Hauser, the co-founder and vice president, left Rockstar Games in early 2020. So this guy helped co-write most every Grand Theft Auto game, Bully, Red Dead Redemption. These games would not have happened without Dan Hauser. Well, this big name in Rockstar's history is gone. He's no longer going to play a part in the future titles of Rockstar Games. So it's unclear whether or not he helped with Grand Theft Auto 6. So when that game releases, his influence may still be found in the game, but games after that, probably not, because he is no longer at Rockstar Games. Leslie Benzies, who was a programmer at DMA Design, which would later become Rockstar North. He became a higher-up, obviously the president of Rockstar North in Rockstar Games history, but in 2016 through 18 and 19, through a very lengthy, nasty lawsuit, Leslie Benzies is no longer at Rockstar Games, and he took with him over 30 long-term Rockstar employees who have been with Rockstar since the early days of Grand Theft Auto. That is huge because, as I emphasized at the beginning of this video, the importance of these teams at Rockstar, these groups of people that make up the games that we have gotten to know and love are no longer around. So what's next? You know, I mean, obviously, bigger and better people could come along. It's a changing of the guard. By this point, some of these long-term employees are probably in their mid-40s, maybe pushing 50 at this point. So they're retiring and things like that. So we got a new breed of people coming in, which isn't a bad thing as well. I'm not trying to be too negative. I also want to be positive because it can be so much more innovative when it comes to the future of Rockstar Games. And maybe we could see them become bigger than ever before. I just don't know. Only time will tell. But another name that left last year in 2020 was Laszlo Jones. Once again, I've talked about him on the channel, and we've made a dedicated video about this, but the reason that radio stations are so prevalent in Grand Theft Auto is because of Laszlo. He wrote and co-wrote all the radio stations from the beginning. He became an in-game personality while portraying himself, and he left for personal reasons. He left Rockstar Games. His sister was terminally ill. God bless her soul. So that is understandable, but once again, that's another big name that makes Grand Theft Auto. Ask any long-term Grand Theft Auto fan or even GTA 5 fans, because Laszlo does play a pretty prominent role in Grand Theft Auto, but really, Laszlo is, when you think of Grand Theft Auto and radio stations, you think of Laszlo. So this hierarchy, like I said, I just kind of came up with that term to describe some of these big names. Of these big names are no longer there. So what's next for Grand Theft Auto or Rockstar? You know, change is inevitable. We have no option but to either roll with it or not roll with it, and you can't complain about it if you're not rolling with it, because it doesn't matter. These corporations, Take-Two is going to do what they want and do what benefits them the most. So the Rockstar that longtime fans have known pre-Grand Theft Auto Online days is gone. Like in 2015, that just stopped and it all changed. Even actors, for various other reasons, won't even work with Rockstar anymore. We've got Tommy, who was voiced by Ray Liotta. He was meant to be in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. He was going to make a cameo. That was canceled. I think the story behind Ray Liotta is he was just kind of a cocky actor, and back then, movies were more popular than games. he didn't feel he got the recognition that he deserved, or the monetary outcome that he should have earned, if that makes any sense. He didn't get paid enough. Nico, voiced by Michael Hollick, was paid $100,000 for being the face of a game that made over $310 million on the first day. And then CJ, who was voiced by Young Melee, spoke out against Rockstar in 2020, speaking out against cultural appropriation, saying that Rockstar is profiting off a culture that it has nothing to do with, and he's just not happy with them. Once again, just like Michael Hollick and Ray Liotta, he also felt he wasn't compensated enough for his role because of the massive success to this day of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. All very understandable things when you start looking at the numbers. That could drive anybody crazy. But Grand Theft Auto 5 is 8 years old. Now what? We're going to get another release that's what? Seemingly the same? I've got a pretty high-end PC. I play on PC. So what? How much better can it get? You know, we're going to have more grass textures. That's all I imagine. There's nothing new going on here with this game. But in the current state of the world, how can Rockstar create a parody of America when America is a parody of itself? Like, the world is falling apart, and when it comes to the next Grand Theft Auto, as GTAs are parodies of American culture, maybe that's why we haven't gotten it yet, you know? GTA 6 is coming, and it will. Jokes aside, it will no doubt be amazing, I hope, but this company doesn't even acknowledge anniversaries for games anymore. And they haven't since the 10-year anniversaries of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. And it's also not surprising that Rockstar doesn't interact with the community anymore like they used to through Q&As, AMAs, just giveaways, and being there with the fans. It's a different climate because this climate is only about the revenue at this point. And don't get me wrong, because there's already somebody in the comments talking about, well, you do realize how good Red Dead Redemption 2 was, right? So that's why Rockstar's taking forever. Yeah, I understand that. But at the same time, the marketing, the Rockstar that, like I say, long-term fans have known, if you've been a fan of Grand Theft Auto before GTA 5, you remember a different Rockstar. And that's the Rockstar. We're just kind of like, where'd they go? You know, amazing mods. Guys working at home, modding games for fun, are doing a better job than some of these guys probably at Rockstar. I mean, when it comes to these remasters and things like that, not to discredit anybody, because who am I, right? But anyways, that's kind of what's on my chest right now regarding, or getting that off my chest regarding the expanded and enhanced and the kind of current state of Rockstar Games, and also the 8-year anniversary of Grand Theft Auto 5. So if y'all enjoyed this video, please drop a like, subscribe, and let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm really eager to see what y'all have to say regarding all of this. It's a weird time to be a Grand Theft Auto fan. I understand how Skyrim fans feel now, you know? Man, like, come on, Rockstar, where'd you go?